Greetings, fellow sausages, it's the Countess, and today we're going to be talking about how to get rare super fast with the Summer Carnival. So, I know it doesn't sound entirely possible, considering all you have to do is play some games and purchase some things, but trust me, once the Summer Carnival is gone, in a couple seasons, once it gets to winter and everyone's focusing on the Gemality items, the Summer Carnival items will be considered rare because you cannot buy them anymore. So here you'll see me going over a couple of the best items to buy: the pizza hat, the Stegosaurus stuff, the star hat, and sometimes the camera. So now it is time to actually play the games to attempt to get those items. Now, as you see, I look at the den items some, but they're really just not offered for, and you never really see anybody put them on for the whole one beta deal. So as for what game to play, it plays a big part in how many tickets you earn. And as you can see here, I started with the little Phantom Shooter game, which I personally think is one of the most fun games because it has the most variation. But as you can see there, I was not getting very many tickets, and 34 does not add up to 1,000 per each item very quickly, and it would have taken me ages to get items. And truthfully, you probably want one of each color, if not two of each color, if you're going to make a profit off of them in the long run. So that really wasn't going to do. So here I headed over to check out the other shop, plushies. Wasn't really thinking it. So I decided to try out the candy because that is, in my opinion, the second most fun game since it's very fast and gets your heart racing. So I tried it out and I had a lot of fun, and I collected a lot of the golden candies. It was almost impossible to avoid the phantoms though. And I found that in the end I did not earn any more tickets. In fact, I earned less. So it was time for skee ball. And this is where I found my ultimate success. So I played skee ball for about, I don't know, like 30-ish minutes in order to record this video, and I wound up getting probably at least 6,000 tickets just in the 30-minute time frame that I was playing this. And truthfully, I wasn't really playing my best in the beginning, and you end up getting the rhythm as you play. So I would say, if you're not playing for fun and you're just playing to get the most tickets that you can, play skee ball over and over. It gives you the most tickets, and once you get into the rhythm of playing it for 20 to 30 minutes, you really gauge how much it takes in terms of power to reach each goal, and you start to develop strategies. And I wound up getting a total of like 5,000 points in one round, which was way more than my initial high score. So I think that I became a lot better as I continued to play, and I think that you can too. So essentially what you want to go for when you're playing skee ball is those little light ups, because that provides a multiplier. So each time you make into a hole after you earn one of those multipliers, it is that times the number of points. So say that after I had a multiplier of 3, I got into the 250. Well, that means that now instead of 250 points, I have 250 times 3. And it happens each time. It's not just a one-time deal. And you can't lose those even if you don't make the next one. So I would say the 250s at the very top, along with the spinning 300 thing that goes back and forth, are lost causes, and you end up missing out on a lot of other points because you're wasting your balls trying to get up there, and you don't get the opportunities for a lot more. So I know that those are highlighted a lot, but when those are highlighted, just go for the 250 in the middle, because those are just way harder to get, and they'll waste your time, in all honesty, and you'll be missing out on the other points that you could be scoring at the bottom. Now, on the other hand, if the 250, 150, and 25 are highlighted in the middle circle, then definitely go for them. Now, I find that probably the 25 is the hardest to get because you have to have such low power, and you often go into the 10 or it goes up into the 50. So in terms of that, I ended up wasting a lot of my balls on that. So if you decide that you just don't want to aim for the 25s, I would definitely say that that's your best bet. Sometimes you just hit the 25 by accident, and it's very hard to actually purposely hit the 25, but I find that it's easier instead of just hitting with very low power, because you either hit the 50 or you hit the 10, that if you hit with very high power and you go past that 50 mark, then you can get up top over by where the 250s and the 300 at the top are, and that will still count as a 25 because it will roll around. And somewhere in this footage you'll see me do that, I think only once, and that was an accident, so it didn't happen to be highlighted. But if you are going to go for the 25s, I would say that that's the easiest way, because otherwise it just ends up going to one of the others, and you'll end up wasting your balls or time. So in terms of skee ball, if you play one of your best games, I'd say you can make 300 to 500 tickets in a game. 300, as you could see there, I just got, and it was providing an animation of piled tickets, so obviously Animal Jam considers that to be a lot. So I'm guessing that if you make 300, you're doing pretty great, because 300 a game provides a lot of tickets. So the 250 is what everyone wants to aim for in terms of the multiplier. So when the things at the top are highlighted and you're not going for the multiplier, always aim for the 250. Now for the 250, you have to be directly in the middle of the board, because if you're not, even if you have the right power, it's going to end up in the 200 because, or sorry, not the 200, the 100, because the 250 is directly centered. So either way, if you're off to one side a little bit too much, or you're off to the other side a little bit too much, even if it's close to centered, it's not going to work, because the 250 is so in the middle. It is the very center of the board. So only by being in the exact middle can you hit the 250. Now for the 250, you need about half of the power meter. I can't say approximately, I just sort of figured it out as I went along. However, if you would like to see exactly where I wound up for each of the makes, then I would suggest pausing the video whenever I make either a 250, 150, or 25, depending on what you're looking for me making. I didn't make the 250s or the 300 at the top because I decided that it wasn't worth aiming for them, and I earned a lot more points by going for the ones at the bottom, especially with the multipliers applied. So if you would like to know how to make all of the ones in the circle, and I mean even 10 because I accidentally made them, I don't really know why you would want to make that, but I guess if you really do, then just pause the video whenever I make one of those, and you don't have to watch through just for that. Just maybe listen to the commentary and pay attention to what's going on in the background, and if you notice that I hit one of them, then just go back a little bit, and voila, you can pause and you'll see exactly where my power meter ended up. So like I said, the 250 has to be exactly in the center, but for each of them, there's a different position that you have to play. So just keep that in mind, and even if your power is correct, then you may not be in the right position. So as you can see here, I ended up with a total of about 4,000 tickets after that gameplay session. So I aimed for the Stegosaurus tail and the star hats, as well as the pizza hat. I think I'll be keeping that pizza hat for myself because I think that it's very fun to make looks that look like pizza. And it's really fun to give yourself red spots like pepperonis. So that one's not aiming towards rarity, but the star hats and the Stegosaurus tail, Stegosaurus spine, and sometimes the camera are very good rare levels. So I would say get every color of the star hat if possible, and get every color of the Stegosaurus tail if possible. The Stegosaurus spines are more secondary, those aren't quite as popular. So I'd say maybe get like half if you can. And if you have some extra tickets left over, maybe buy a camera, maybe buy a carousel hat. I'd say carousel hats are better for just making looks and keeping for yourself. However, a lot of times the star hats don't come exactly back in the right colors, and those are very well desired. So the star hats are definitely the most valuable item that you can get in the summer carnival, and if you get all of those in a couple seasons when either the gem holidays or the next event roll around, then you can definitely use those. Sometimes, depending on how desirable the colors that you have are, you could do the one beta each deal, or if you're willing to wait a couple of years, then the prices could go way up. For example, star hats that are no longer available, that came out a couple of years ago, are now worth a lot, really. Some are even willing to trade like 10 den betas for, I think, the red one. I had a red one, and I believe like 3 people offered me a good amount for them. But currently I'm using it for looks, so unfortunately I did not trade that one. But just stock up on your star hats if you can, because really you never know which colors are going to be back and which colors are going to be more desirable. Look around, see what colors are popular in looks, and try to get those. So now we're on to the next method. I don't really think that this method is as fun, but it is a lot faster, and if you don't want to play games because you're a party pooper, then you can go ahead and just buy tickets as shown here. Obviously, the prices, I guess, are fair. I mean, what is really fair for tickets? I don't know. But you can earn a decent amount from the cash, but you're still going to find yourself having to play games in the real world to earn that cash. So it's up to you. If you have a lot of cash, unlike me, then maybe it's a better bet for you. But if you're like me and you spend it all on Rare Mondays and Den Decor, then you're going to want to try the other methods. So if you enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like, and you'll be sent an invisible high five from Hamster, and subscribe today to become an official fabulous sausage. and I'll see you guys next time. But for now, count us out.